Welcome back, everyone. This is episode 2 of the Pariah Pod. We are not a one-hit wonder. We are back. This project is not a dream. We're gonna make it happen. Since we last talked, it's been, I believe, 4 game weeks. We are now in the first
Yep.
international break, and I think this is always a good time to stop and reflect. It's been very eventful season so far. A few things I don't think any of us expected. A lot of things we did expect. Much to talk about. Again, let me reintroduce myself. My name's Ifty, huge Arsenal fan, and hope to have a lot of fun with this.
And I'm Faris, current Chelsea fan, looking for other options at the moment. We'll see. Maybe someone will take me on loan. But yeah, I'm excited. I don't know if I'm excited, but I'm ready to talk.
I'm Nabir, big Arsenal fan as well. Ready to talk again?
Hello, Ala Madrid. We don't have no strikers, but we got
Oh
Jude Bellingham.
wow.
Wow.
Dang. We could do a whole episode on Jude Bellingham.
Dude, he's him. He
He
he,
just he just threw away his Newcastle allegiance.
yeah.
I mean,
That's
I've always been Madrid fan. What are you talking
Yeah.
about?
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
why.
yeah.
I
No,
think
no, I'm part owner of Newcastle United. That's why
You're
hmm
I'm,
gonna
you
you're gonna
know,
drop that already, dude?
he's not a fan, he's a stakeholder. You know what I mean?
yeah.
It's different. It's different.
It's a different kind of connection. So I don't know. I kind of wanted to walk through a lot of the significant games. I think as we make this more regular, there's going to be less games to cover, meaning we don't have to always skip over some really interesting ones. Unfortunately, today we do. Um, but I personally, no bias at all, no particular reason. I want to start with a game that happened right before the international break on a lovely Sunday morning here in America when the Arsenal took
All right.
on
Right.
took on arch rivals Manchester United in a blockbuster event.
It was a blockbuster.
I mean,
hmm
Yeah, it was a good
what
game.
what a roller coaster of emotions. I think the best way to put that game is if Arsenal lost it, I think we could have been out of title talks very early. You're at home. Arsenal's looked very shaky at home this season, even last season. So they had a point to prove as far as like facing big teams at home. Honestly, played pretty bad most of the game. But as they always say, teams that win championships find a way to get 3 points, even when they're not playing well. For me, it's a little scary that we had to reach deep into our like shot clock cheese bag this early in the season. But
Yeah, usually
like
they use that phrase for like the run in, like towards the end.
yeah, it's game 4 and we're already relying on a Declan Rice wonder goal and a Gabby Jesus 50-yard just sending Diego Dalot back to Portugal, reminding Onana who he is. Just I don't know. I was obviously very happy after the game. And I wanted to football is all about enjoying these little moments, right? Soaking it all in. No one wants to complain after beating United 3-1. But for me, the game was very worrying. I think the result papers over a lot of cracks. What do you guys think?
I personally think that I don't think we played bad. I actually think this is one of the first games I noticed that Arteta was not being stubborn.
Hmm.
And he actually changed his game plan to where he didn't force our four strikers to just press all the way. He made sure we held a formation and made sure we didn't commit to on us theatrics or whatever. And I think that's why we felt, as Arsenal fans, felt like, oh, we're not playing to the level we always play, because it was just we just let Man United have the ball. I feel like if we wanted to, we could press more, we can give up more defensive positions and try to get press more often. But I think he had a plan in play, and also did Man United. I think it was a good game. Yeah, you're right. I think we may have gotten lucky, slight margins with Gabriel's fine defending and Declan's deflected goal, but we'll take him. We'll take him any day.
Yeah, I didn't think United necessarily were that good in that first half. What I remember vividly is like they really struggled to get into the final third. Like it was just a lot of back passes and back to Anana, past the center backs, back to the fullback. Like there was not a lot of incision, I guess.
Hmm.
Not to say that like they were also like they had good counters. I guess that's the way they set up. But I wouldn't take away too much credit from Arsenal, at least in that first half.
Look, I don't want to make it seem like I meant to say United were good. They
No,
have
yeah.
far, far bigger problems than we could even imagine having. But like I agree with your point, Nibs, that out of the 4 games, this was probably one where we looked maybe the least sloppy.
Mhm.
But I don't even think that's like saying much at this stage. The 4 games we played, besides game 1 where we had that Saka wonder goal, I don't think we've been particularly impressive. I think I don't think that's like a crazy big problem yet because there are new players in the squad, and we'll talk about that. I do think there's like a gelling period, and getting points in this period is a positive. But my concern is we're suffering the same problems we did last year where we just can't seem to find an edge in the opposition box. Like we're there, we're around it. We find the key pass. There's a lot of good runs being made, good movement, but like the Saka chance for me is like I am just getting flashbacks to last year. It's like we have the games to kill and we're not killing
Mhm.
them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like I don't even want to speak on the Havertz miss kick. That's like a I don't know.
Before the obvious, we go into the obvious on Havertz. I think, I mean, let's talk a little bit about Saka. I feel like we need to because I don't know, he was really frustrating me that game. I don't
look,
know if
look,
it's tiredness or not, but I feel like he needs he could easily be like dropped. I feel like play Trossard or
Really
Jesus
dropped?
there. I
I
think so
think
because he was actually like abysmal, I think, in that game. Just because he got that last corner
Dang.
assist, I really think he was really not performing.
I think that Fulham game you could put down us dropping points to Saka because
Yeah.
the first goal we concede purely off his mistake. You can make an argument of why Partey wasn't there to gather the loose ball, but putting us down a goal that early in the game and then going on to play the way he did, it was just like I know if he didn't have as much credit in the bank, Arteta would have dropped him. Obviously, you
Mhm.
have credit in the bank for things like this, but like, and I'm not suggesting we should drop him, but like when Reece came on against United, he made things happen, And I'm not saying we should like ban Saka to the shadow realm, but when a player is playing this many games, it's normal for him to, maybe drop off a little bit. I think a bit of rest could do a lot of good for him, and I
Yeah.
really like that Southgate did not play him today, which is
Do you
really
think
good.
it's fatigue though? Or
I don't know
just
if it's
what, like rust too early
like
in the season?
not even rust. Like I'll like give just a general sports analogy. Like you ever play basketball, tennis, anything, you do something over and over, you kind of get like not fatigued physically, but fatigued mentally. Like he almost looks out of ideas sometimes. Case in point against Delo, you're playing a right back that's playing left back. So every time he's cutting in from the left, he's playing on the Delo's dominant foot, meaning Delo was able to deal with him every time. Not once did I see Saka charge and take it outside, make Delo a little uncomfortable. He has that in his bag, but that's the kind of thing where I'm like, if that's a hungry, fresh Bukayo Saka, maybe he tries a bit of like I don't know alternation in his moves, but he just seems out of ideas sometimes.
And like another thing is like I think one of the Saka's strongest point, which made him like kick out Pepe out of the team and basically start every freaking game is his defensive work, and I think that has gone
Hmm.
to
Nothing.
shit too.
Yeah.
Like it's like he doesn't track back as much. Like I see Ben White literally like struggling without any cover usually on the right
Does
side.
Ben White overlap on the right side? Like does he go beyond
Barely,
this?
barely, very rarely because he knows that if he goes, it's going to be a problem.
And last
Did you-
season, he was overlapping pretty much every attack, and it was
Yeah.
beautiful. Like the little partnership they had, it gave Saka a lot of like room to maneuver because usually he's double teamed. That Ben White overlap, I don't know, it does a lot, even if it's not used. Besides Saka, I think like I don't know. Everyone kind of looked a bit off it. I saw people on Twitter saying Rice had like an average game besides the goal. I completely disagree. I think he's the only player against United that every action was decisive. Every action was thought out. Everything was clean. Everyone else just kind of looked, I don't know, not all the way there.
I wish like United just had a couple more like guys in that match. Like I think they had a lot of instances where maybe if Mount was there or if also even skipping what I'm about to say, the Hoyland debut looked pretty like exciting. Like I don't know,
Yeah.
like that player that size, but also running the channels, holding the ball up. Like I'm excited to see more of him. But yeah, if they maybe like I know it's just like everyone has players out all the time. That's not a fair excuse, but you could definitely tell they were just struggling to get the ball forward. United, like it was rough early on.
I mean, let's tackle some of the more like hardier topics in this game. The first, I guess, big one is Havertz.
Offside.
Okay. Actually, let's start with the refereeing decisions because I
feel like judging by how crazy the final minutes of the game went, I remember the United going 2-1 up from the offside, and then it was ruled out, and then Arsenal takes the lead 2-1, and then 3-1 in the final minute, whatever. I think like from what I remember from the game, I don't think Arsenal were good, but United were worse.
Facts.
Yeah.
Like United had nothing, like absolutely nothing. Like,
the fact that there's United
anything.
fans feeling robbed is just clear signs of mental illness to me. Like how? I don't.
Yeah, I think the scoreline was fair. Maybe like it was just cruel how it happened to them,
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
And the other thing
That's
I'd say is I see a lot of at first the gut reaction from United fans is that like we paid the refs, Barclays corruption, yada yada yada. But now all these dudes want to turn into philosophists, arguing the merit of the offside rule. They stopped arguing whether or not it was offside. They now have to concede because they have eyes that it was offside. And now they're saying, no, this is not the spirit of the rule. Brother, that's not what the referee is here to do, right? If he's offside, he's offside. If you want to, I think there's a productive conversation to be had with, like how anal, offside can be sometimes, but it's just like so much.
I think being very precise to the millimeter is the only way to protect everyone's like.
Because what if a ref feels different next week? Like what if the spirit of the game in him changes a little?
It's the only objective way,
Yeah. I agree 100%. The other, I guess, contentious decision was the two penalty no calls. The one on Havertz and the lesser, I guess, debated one on Hoyland. I think. Look, if you look at the penalty, I think Rashford was involved with literally the week before. If that was a penalty, then Havertz's has to be a penalty. Because, like, I agree, contact was minimal, but this argument that, like, Havertz kicked out, I really don't think so. Like, I think if you're running and there's two men, like, in your personal space to the point where you can't, like, stand with your arms like this, you actually like can't run through that without falling. Like maybe he tried to look for a little bit, in which case, like, fine, rule it out. But this, like, I don't know, the stance that it was a complete flop, I don't see that.
I think, dude, all the calls we saw in this game have gone other ways in different games. Like the consistency is just non-existent. That's not saying anything new. I'm just saying, like, I would not have been surprised if the Havertz one stood or if Hoyland got a pen. Like, either, like, both of those decisions were tight. They were just, I know the Prem released, like, that behind the scenes of the Havertz one. And I've seen like, okay, sure, it sounds good. Like I would like to see more of that, but also like I've seen them explain same
Other way.
situations with different wording and giving it a pen.
Uh,
So like
Yeah.
we're just at a point where like I don't have much to add. Like it's gonna go or it's not. Like you can't really. It's the fine margins are I don't know, tough.
Something that was a little concerning to me in that little referees like mic thing they released.
Yeah.
In the conversation the ref has with the VAR refs, when he's walking over to the monitors, he says to the VAR refs, "What am I about to see?" I find that question troubling because essentially he's getting the refs to tell him exactly what to look for versus him having his own objective view of the monitor. That's the whole point of him going to the monitor. So he can watch back and make his own decision, not so the refs can tell him what they think. He's already hearing
But
that.
he is going in already with what he's seen. Like he makes the call, right?
I
Like he
understand.
knows what he saw,
I
and
understand,
now
but
he's asking.
so he makes a call based off what he sees real time, right? And then
Mhm.
the refs chime in
But
with what they're thinking, right? And then they're like, "Hey, we disagree with what you're thinking. We think you should take a look." When that happens, he should just take a look. He shouldn't take a look based on what they said. You know what I mean? Because at that point, it's not
no,
clear and obvious.
but from my understanding is that he didn't call anything on the field, and
No, he
then they
called
were
Penn.
like, "Oh, uh,
He called
Yeah,
Penn.
he called Pan. I'm just saying the way
mm,
he got to the monitor maybe isn't as important because he's still gonna like when he got there, they still kind of talked him through like the decision that he made and like why to pull it back. Maybe if it was the other way and like he didn't get a clear view of it, and then they're like, "Oh, you should come look at it," then maybe it would make sense for them, or maybe it would be weird for them to say that.
Uh-huh.
But I think that part was okay.
I just think
yeah." I feel like
But
it's there like they had an objection, right, to his
mhm,
whatever
right.
call he made. So they like he's asking what is the objection? What am I looking
Right,
at?
right.
Mm.
That's
What am I
fine. I
looking at
think
that I haven't seen? Yeah.
right, right, exactly. And also I think the concept of like it has to be a clear and obvious error, it gets
That's
played at
so
certain
fake.
times and gets doesn't play at other times because this wasn't a clear and obvious error. And
Yeah.
I don't know if that there must be rules where that maybe this thing doesn't apply. Like maybe VAR comes in even when there's not a maybe there's a slight error. I don't know. Like
Yeah,
I
when you
think
have three players' legs clashing, like how can you determine
yeah, I
like
don't know.
what's real in there, you know?
and,
yeah, like
and it'll get brushed aside because we got the points and
exactly.
Yeah.
and we won't ever talk about it again. But it's just like one of those things. Like for
Yeah.
me, it's like the reason I brought that other thing up is there's this reputation that as soon as the ref gets called to go see the monitor, it's getting overturned. Like
Yeah.
Yeah.
that exists, and it's just like
That exists. I agree.
there
No, I
has
believe
to
that
be
100%.
a reason, you know. But don't want to go too far deep into that. Let's talk about Havertz and a potential failed experiment. It seems to be so far.
And
Yeah,
I
yeah, go
think
ahead, start it off.
let me quickly say some stuff.
Let me land.
Let me land.
Do
I
your thing,
just
bro.
think like the I mean, there's only 4 games. I'm gonna really judge Arteta's decision making on the next game. And there's a big break, there's no requirement of him starting Havertz this Everton game. Maybe a slight requirement of Everton midfield 3 looking
Yeah.
pretty tall.
I think
But
that's
but I think like bro, we played without Havertz last whole season. Why can't he do another game? He is obviously struggled. There is literally no point of him playing because it's only destroying his confidence. Like every bad game he
Mm.
has just topples on of his career and in the Arsenal colors, and it's just like not looking good. He literally looks lost. I know what Arteta values. He values positioning. He values like determination, grit. None of that is in this person. And forcing him into the starting lineup is literally him obviously making sure his value stays up, like pay 65 million. But he didn't do that. He literally lost Pepe $72 million down the drain because he didn't play him. He didn't have any problems with doing that. Why does he have such a problem benching Havertz for a couple games? I just don't understand. I really think this is like the beginning of like wherever we're winning games now, whenever we lose some critical games because of Arteta's stubbornness, it's gonna turn real ugly in this football club, and our fan base is gonna go haywire. I think he needs to be decisive and try to play games some other way. If he plays 43 formations, I'm sure there's one without Havertz in it. So make it happen.
Yeah, that quote was a little crazy. I think the reason he's being stubborn with Havertz is because it's his signing. And it's a big money signing. I think it's the third biggest signing in our history, after Rice and Pepe. I don't know. I think I remember something that stuck out to me in his first couple of interviews about Havertz was saying how he liked his physical profile against teams where we might have to go long sometimes, and he could be a kind of lightning rod, and we could compete for the second ball. So I think maybe he will start against Everton. But I agree with you that, yeah, it's getting a bit forced at this point. There's other players like Vieira, Trossard, who make a really good case for, getting a start, especially Vieira, who's been crazy impactful in these first 4 games. I want to see him turn it around. I really do. But I think it'll take a lot longer than what Arteta probably hopes.
Dude, I think if he gets a solid run playing as a striker, especially when the games start to ramp up, like Champions League, FA Cup, those kind of things, like his value will be pretty fair. Like you paid 65, whatever, like you get like a rotational striker who has like I think good enough qualities to play up front. Like that's just a fair value these days, especially with
That's
certain
true.
striker valuations being way higher than that. And you get like a versatile piece. Like I know the midfield thing, like I've never seen him really work there even when he was at Chelsea. It was a mess. He's a little clunky, a little
Yeah.
stiff sometimes.
Very.
But I can say that his best games for us came up top. Really good presser, really good playing, through the channels. Um, he's not the best finisher, but I don't know. I think if Arteta's really stubborn, he's gonna keep forcing it in midfield, and that could probably turn to be a problem for you guys.
Yeah, when you say a versatile player, I mean, brother, like you need to be
Yeah,
good
it's
at
just like
something, you know?
it's a buzzword because
He's a
played in
jack of
midfield
all
and striker.
trades, master of none. And in a team
I
of
don't know,
specialists,
jack
that's
shit, dude. Like I don't know. Like, are we gonna censor this or?
no one will get this far. No, but I think another signing that has been absolutely useless that no one has spoken about thus far, also a Chelsea reject, went for 55 million of the Queen's finest, Mason Mount.
Yeah, but he hasn't played, man.
Brother, he couldn't. I don't believe his injury is real. That's a personal theory
He's
of
played
mine.
2 games, dude.
How like there was no contact injury, and I know he's not training that hard. How did he get injured 2 games in? And if we don't want to talk about injuries, right? Let's talk about the 2 games. He did nothing. When he got injured after 2 games, United fans celebrated. You know how awful you have to be
Okay,
in 2
that's not
games?
true, dude.
You know how awful
Also,
you have
I
to
don't know
be?
why I'm like you're making me defend him right now, but like I feel like there's some cap going on. I don't think
Nah,
anyone was
bruh.
celebrating him getting hurt.
I could pull up the receipts. They were like, thank God, because you know what it was. Maybe it was less of a he's terrible celebration, more of a we don't want him to go 007, and this kind of like prevents that for 2 more games celebration. You know what I mean? Like I don't know if I'm not saying they've given up on him, but he certainly did not look good in the first 2 games, and it's like
My assessment is just that, and I felt this way even when we did our predictions. That midfield can't really work if it's Casemiro, Bruno, and Mount together. I don't think it. I don't know. There's not a lot of ball retention. There's not a lot of It's just a lot of just Mount.
yeah.
Yeah, Mount is very specific to doing few things really well, and creating like being a 10 is not that.
Yeah.
And I'm actually interested to see, because of their current right wing situation with Sancho and Anthony, if they played Mount on the right side, because I feel like he could do a decent shift there if need be. But yeah, I'm not like I don't need to defend him, but I feel like we're being a little harsher on him. If you're saying because they're being harsh on Kai, I think Kai has shown more things to be concerned about than Mount has. Only because again, Mount's played like a game and a half.
Fair.
That's my take.
Yeah,
But
That's my take.
yeah. Also, like you have to look at why they got him in the first place. Like I saw like a thing on the Athletic about like why they were getting him in the first place. And it mostly comes down to needing more bodies, because like their availability for their players last season, especially the midfield, has been like terrible. So like the starting 11 for United did not play together for like more than 2 games, I think, or something like that. So they had injury problems that they didn't have any depth. So um that's why like mainly they're getting him.
Fair. I mean,
Yeah, I could see that.
you could also say that the problems are mounting at United. Let me just read off the list. We have Jadon Sancho publicly confronting his coach, saying that he trains well when his coach disagrees. We have the whole media debacle with Mason Greenwood. We don't even need to touch on that. We have the Glazers taking United off the market, saying they want 10 billion. We have the allegations surrounding Anthony, which have seen him be removed from the United squad on a temporary basis. Obviously, Mount is injured. Nothing's really gelling. Luke Shaw's injured. That promising kid that played against us injured.
That's tough, man. That's so tough.
Nothing seems to be
I
going
don't feel
well
bad for them, but yeah.
Yeah, I don't feel bad at all, but all of us in this call right now did predict United to finish third. So definitely not the start we expected them to have.
Come on, man.
But yeah, I don't. There's not really much to all of these problems. The reason I kind of feel bad, there's not anything they could really do about it.
Yeah.
The only one I think we could maybe discuss is the Sancho one. I really hate Ten Hag, but I feel bad for him on this one because I don't know. I think he's been more than fair with Sancho. Even though Sancho disagrees, he obviously had his mental health issues last year and was basically given a few months off in the middle of a season, which you never seen done. He's had game time, and besides this preseason, I've never really seen him impress. So, and you know what the saddest part is? Anthony just, for outside of footballing reasons, got disqualified from that right wing position. So if he had maybe held his tongue, now would have been his time to make an impact. But it's not
Yeah,
how
I
it
saw
worked out.
that Sancho deleted his post as well just today.
Yeah.
Even though he
They
had
might
it
have gotten-
pinned, he had it
Yeah.
pinned on his Twitter, bro. Like it wasn't even something he said
that's
and
tough.
made a mistake. He said, "Nah, look at this. Everyone look." And now Mandem are being linked to El Ghazi. So crazy how
Oh,
crazy
Dude,
how
that's
fast
hilarious,
that.
man.
I think for Sancho, he was like hurt by the manager calling him out publicly.
Yeah, he got on the notes app in his feels. If you're
Yeah.
if you're a footballer, he's never ever opened the notes app like after a game. Just leave it alone. I'm speaking to you, Marcus
Is it-
Rashford. I'm speaking to you, Sancho.
Is it
Somewhat.
like fine to feel like both are in the wrong?
I don't think Ten Hag is a good man manager at all. Like
Like I think like I've been reading like stuff like how apparently Sancho was like allowed to come back earlier even though he shouldn't have been. Like there's some weird stuff about like
Oh,
his
really?
mental health stuff, how like he was cleared earlier than he should have been. And again, all of these articles that come out post this notes app thing, obviously you have to take it with a grain of salt. It's like the United PR machine versus Sancho's PR machine. Like it's hard to know what's actually going on. But I just think
Plus-
both sides it handled it wrong.
I think there's some people with no agenda that just like seeing United burn. You know what I mean? They're not for Sancho or Ten Hag. They just kind of like the chaos. And I think, United fans just got to deal with that for now. But maybe they're thankful for this international break. I just saw Harry Maguire scored an own goal. And
Damn.
Havertz just got an assist in the 87th minute. So I don't know. The international break could have come at a good time for them to maybe regroup, but I don't know what there really is for them to fix. They just got to go out there and hope maybe things on the pitch are different. I think let's move on to another very important game in the last 4 weeks. For me, that was. There's a couple we could talk about.
Liverpool, Newcastle.
Or do you want to do
Liverpool, Newcastle?
Okay,
I,
we'll start.
I didn't watch that game.
Okay, we'll do Liverpool, Newcastle.
Come on, man.
So
Were you even at home for that game, Aziz?
No, I was traveling.
Yeah.
Well, Liverpool so far this season have looked excellent.
Good.
Yeah, like excellent.
Good. Really good.
And-
They looked like
good.
Outscoring everyone.
And Newcastle have looked
really
not
bad.
excellent.
But also their best defender is not playing, so
Yeah.
Who's their best
So
defender?
Botman.
what happened with him again?
Didn't Botman just get hurt though?
Yeah. No, he got hurt like 2 games ago.
Oh, okay.
So look,
I thought it was against.
To be completely
Brighton.
fair, I think Newcastle had probably one of the hardest starts to the season.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It was
for
like
sure,
what,
for
City,
sure.
Liverpool, and Brighton.
And Villa, who you beat
Yeah.
pretty convincingly.
Yeah.
You only lost to like a Alvarez wonder goal against City. Liverpool
Yeah.
beat you pretty convincingly.
Like late in the game.
But like I don't know.
They came back.
They came back, but
They
they
came
looked
back.
good.
With 10 men.
Yeah,
dude.
but last minute.
For-
They also like last minute. It was like last 10 minutes. They scored
Away
2
from
goals,
home,
but,
man. That's
And then
But you guys also scored like a fluke goal.
Yeah.
no.
I think Newcastle, as I said early in my prediction video, you know what I'm saying?
nah, you're tripping, bro.
I just
Arsenal
think
gonna finish 5th, bro.
I really stand behind the fact that Newcastle fumbled this transfer market. With all this freaking money you got going, you
No, but
gotta
that's
get
the-
a
That's
good
the point, brother.
clinic.
The point was that
Mm.
they couldn't sign more players. They had to sell.
Right, but
Or
the guy you
FFP,
did sign didn't really move the margins for you like that. The big
Yeah.
guy.
I
think you
we
needed to
had
get
to
a-
sign defenders, right?
Right,
And
you
they
guys
went
had a-
on. They got 2 fullbacks. They got
Very
2
good
wingers,
players.
right? They got like Harvey Barnes up top. They got Gordon, but Gordon they got him in the winter transfer
Mhm.
market. And then they got Tonali.
But
So-
brother, you're still starting Dan Burn at left back. Like a serious team can't be doing this.
No, but what's his name?
That's
The
gonna
other
be
left back?
temporary. Lewis Hall is gonna take that spot.
Yeah,
very soon.
Lewis Hall is gonna.
I know,
gonna be
but he's
playing then.
he's been there 4 games and he hasn't started one. You know what I mean?
No,
Like-
He hasn't been there 4
no, he
games.
has.
sorry,
hasn't
2
been
games.
there.
2 games.
Yeah.
He joined on deadline day, so I don't know how many
The
games that
thing
is.
is, Dan Burn is like the son of the club, and you can't just like drop him just like that. He's like a cult hero in Newcastle.
I don't know.
He's been there 1 season.
No, he grew up from the academy. It's like a whole thing. Like his family's always
Oh.
there at the games, and like it's a whole thing.
Actually, that's true for Lewis Hall too. He's a childhood Newcastle fan.
Mm.
So Newcastle's next.
but he came up through the academy.
Yeah, I didn't know that. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Newcastle's next 5 fixtures are Brentford, Sheffield United, Burnley, West Ham, and Crystal Palace. If Newcastle don't pick up points against virtually everyone except West Ham, it's looking slow this
Tough.
season. Real
Yeah.
slow. Like
For their 4th place run, yeah, definitely.
I don't even know what their
Which
target.
games? There's an Aston Villa game, right?
No, you played Villa in the first game. I don't think you played them again for a while. You got
No,
Brentford.
they play Burnley on the 28th,
30th.
29th? 30th. Yeah. I'm gonna be there, Sean.
Oh,
Yeah.
Wow.
dang!
Wow.
You're
And
gonna see Vincent
and
Company's.
yeah, and the Carabao Cup,
Damn.
Okay.
Who do they play in the
City,
cup? Who do
yeah.
they play in the cup?
the City
Oh,
at home. Yeah.
That's tough.
yeah. No.
Yeah.
Actually, while we're talking about Newcastle's fixtures, they do have West Ham coming up, who I personally predicted to get relegated, which was by far my worst prediction because they're currently sitting in 4th place with 10 points, having beaten Luton, Brighton, Chelsea, and they drew to Bournemouth of all people. They look good. I'm not gonna lie, they look very good.
Yeah, I think I
Who-
had them in 18th as well, and then I swapped them out last minute for
with
Wolves.
Wolves.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, the thing is, like last season, they were struggling towards the end because they were like all the way to the end in Europe. They're
Mm.
like playing
Yeah.
semifinal and final, and they were like dropping points. They were like, okay, well, let's just not get relegated and focus on Europe. And you know, it paid off. They won the Conference League, or whatever.
I think
So
of their results, the two that are most impressive to me is the win against
Right.
Brighton, who also looked fantastic, and the win against Chelsea, who also lost to Nottingham Forest. And
Is this the segue? Or are we?
This is the
segue.
segue. Let's talk
This
about
is the
Chelsea.
segue.
Listen, I predicted Chelsea to finish outside of the top 8, and currently I believe they're situated in 12th, which is a familiar spot for them. Forrest, take it away.
Look, I could talk about this for a long time. I just think I'm gonna try to get through this kind of quick. Definitely not the opening even I thought we would have, first 4 games. But like, and this is gonna like, I don't think it's been like we've been that bad. And I know the results don't show that, and this is at the end of the day a results business.
but the
But like I
XG do
have,
show that.
I
It's
know
all
you're
about
gonna
the
get into
XG, brother.
XG,
Yeah.
but just speaking on the Forest game, let's just start with that. We are not setting up correctly, in my opinion, to play teams that are not gonna attack us. Like going into matches with, at least in the Forest case, with 2 pure forwards, and the rest of them are players that you would say are defensive minded, is just not the correct way to approach these games. Like the Chilwell at left wing experiment is a failure, and playing Gallagher, Enzo, and Caicedo all together is just, it seems redundant almost against us, like because you're gonna have so much kind of pointless possession with like lack of any of them having the last pass, that like incisive pass. That being said, I don't know if I think we have Bournemouth next. I think if he makes changes based off of the reaction of these 4 opening games, being too defensive, not playing your forwards, I think it'll be positive because I've seen a lot of stuff that I did not see last year when we finished, 12th. I've seen positive stuff. I know we have thousands of players and we've spent a lot of money. However much money we spent, you can't buy the chemistry. You can't buy just time needed to get everything to work. So my feeling right now is I'm not in a crisis mode. I'm not in a panic mode, but yeah. And let's when we talk like next international break in 4 weeks, I'll see if my feelings change. But that's my short Chelsea bit.
Listen, if it helps you feel better on expected points, you are third.
Doesn't do
Guess
much for
what?
me, but
But
I'll
guess
take it.
what?
That's
Expected
what I
points
said. XG.
don't count. And
Expected points don't count.
I'm gonna bring up the point I said about my own team, so you know that I'm not being biased when I say this. It does
Sure.
not matter what you create if you cannot finish it. It does not matter. And this idea that like finishing will come with time, it's like you don't know that for sure, especially when you're dealing with like unknown quantities like you are with Nico Jackson.
Mhm.
Like I really saw him in preseason. I was moved. I had him starting in my fantasy, and I held him for 4 weeks. You know what I mean? Like I believed in that guy. He looks like he could play, but sometimes with strikers, it just doesn't click, and it seems to happen more often than not when they're wearing a blue shirt and playing in East London. So
In
like,
London.
so I don't know. Like, hopefully it'll click for you guys, but I'm seeing you create, and I'm seeing like the same comical chances missed, and like it's not like you had
I
crazy
think,
difficult fixtures. You drop points to Forest, like
yeah,
so. Like Forest look good right now, but like you can't be dropping points to Forest if you want to have a
no,
serious campaign.
there's definitely no excuses for that with how much has been put into this team. But
Yeah,
specifically on Jackson, like there's just so much to like right now. for a striker that for the first time in a while we have someone making incisive runs, linking up with players. And I felt really bad for him that game because again, you start off the game with basically the only player near him is Raheem Sterling, and then you have the three midfielders playing kind of deep, and you have Chilwell just for some reason holding with like
Yeah, that's a little
I
crazy.
I didn't think he was put in a position to really succeed that match. Yes, he has the really bad miss, and those are the only things people remember. But me seeing the full 90 minutes, like I don't necessarily put that much blame on him. If he's missing these chances, recurringly, then yeah, I'll agree with you. It's definitely a problem. But like he looked like he made these runs, he made these chances, these opportunities throughout all four of the first games. I know he only scored against Luton. That's not really that shouldn't count. But I'm not like sold. I'm not like out on him yet.
Okay, what do you think about his ability on the ball? I agree his off the ball movement's fantastic, but what do you about because in preseason what really moved me was that one goal where he linked up with Mudryk. I don't know if you remember it.
Yeah.
But on the ball
Yeah,
he
yeah.
looked spectacular, but I don't know. I'm not seeing that in the Prem.
Yeah, it's tough. And I think what he realizes like there's so much like lack of space for him to do anything. And he kind of has a build where he's not he looks more like a winger. So his touches are a little bit like they not loose, but like he has to let go of the ball quick because the second someone like pushes up against him, it seems as though he's just not strong enough to hold them off and do anything. But that's why I felt like really bad because like there are chances where they would play the ball into him, and the only option he has is either to find Sterling or play it right back into one of the midfielders. Like he's not like when you're playing a team like Forest who are really compact and know what they're doing. Like it's so hard for any striker, I feel like, to hold the ball up, turn, take someone on. There's just no space. Like I feel like a lot of strikers would have struggled in that situation. A lot of strikers will,
Mm-hmm.
but the situation is like they will have like you'll have a Martin Odegaard there, or you'll have Bruno Fernandez. You'll have someone that can draw players, knows how to dribble, knows how to take someone on, and then lay it off. And we sort of saw that towards the end when Poch like threw on all our forwards. But again, that was like more of just a panic, like everyone's on, make something happen. If we started off with sure Cole Palmer or Madueke, like 4-3 behind him, I'm sure he would have been fine. That's my opinion.
I think let me just quickly say something on Nicholas Jackson. I think he's the type of player that's gonna bag against City. Like I really feel like when, as you said, like when your strikers or when more forward players are on the game and he can play tiki taka with them, he'll succeed, and he'll also succeed in like high lines. I just think he will really like struggle with like low defensive lines
Yeah,
because he doesn't have
definitely.
the stature. He's like a really skinny little guy who has fast, rapid, good touches,
Yeah.
but he will really struggle with the
And
low
remember,
blocks.
we watched the Liverpool game together, and we were
Mm-hmm.
seeing like against a bigger side that's actually attacking us. That second half, we started to play good football, like really good counterattacking, use of like winning the ball in the midfield, spraying it wide. So it's going to be really interesting to see how we do against the next team that sits back against us. I think our next game is Bournemouth, who aren't necessarily like they play somewhat attacking. I think they got some new Spanish manager, but yeah, I'm worried again for like when we play like Everton at away from home. Like that's gonna be a game where I cannot see us getting a single chance.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, speaking of Everton at home, we got them next, and it's got loss written all over it, in my opinion. But not too much on Arsenal. Let's talk about another game that I thought was pretty interesting, and it'll give us a chance to talk about some other team that's doing very well at the moment, even though I hate to admit it. Spurs versus Burnley. They won
Yeah.
5-2 against Burnley, with Son getting a hat trick, playing pretty much striker that game.
Yeah.
I think it gives us an opportunity to talk. Like, well, let's save Spurs for later. Let's first talk about Burnley, because when we did our relegation picks, none of us had them. I think we all bought into the Vincent Company hype, School of Pep. Like they really tore up the championship. But currently, they have failed to get a single point in the Barclays.
Are they dead last right now?
Yes, 20th place.
No, but they
and
had a game.
they had a game postponed, and they'll have a double game week when we come back.
There you go.
But
Okay.
currently, I mean, to be fair to them, to be like fair to everyone, Luton, who's their competition for 20th, also didn't get a chance to play one game. So they're both on 3 games played, 0 points. Burnley conceded 1 more goal, so they are 20th. Again, they had pretty hard games, but when you're a team that's just promoted, every game is going to be hard. You have to pick up points, here and there, and they failed to do so. They've lost 3-0 to City, 3-1 to Villa, and 5-2 to Spurs. Not only are they losing, they're losing convincingly. They're getting thrashed. And
But like, first of all, like their schedule is not easy, right?
it's
Those are
not
like
easy, but look, like it's not given that these lower half teams will go and lose to every top half team. That's not like you have to pick up a point here and there, and it's not like
but
they're not like
for
condemned.
them to get 30 points, that will like 30 to 35 points, that will like save them from relegation. Right?
I didn't expect them to have a 30-point season. I thought they could do better than that, to be honest, because
but like the goal for them, any team that gets promoted to the Prem, the goal is to stay in the Prem.
Right? For sure. I guess what I'm saying is like I didn't expect Burnley to be in a relegation fight, and it looks like they will be this season.
I think the problem that they have right now is that they are doing it's the exact same thing we saw when Norwich was like destroying the championship, playing that attacking football under was it Farka, I think the coach?
Yeah.
And then they got promoted, and then they're like, you know what, we're gonna keep playing the same style of football, attacking, and we're gonna win games. And that was like the worst thing ever to watch. Like Norwich was like a free 3 points for anyone playing them. Chelsea scored 7-0 against them one season.
Yeah.
Which is just unheard of for us. So like I think Burnley, like they're gonna have to decide very quickly. Do they continue with this company style of football, possession, all that stuff? Will they ever get a chance to show it off? I don't know.
It's like that. You mentioned go for it.
Yeah. I'm just saying that watching them play the first game against City, they weren't really bad.
They weren't really bad, actually. I'd agree with that. But like, it's also because it's your first game in the Prem in a while. Like, you better not be bad.
But guess who you're playing against?
Sure.
The treble winners, like if you're showing that kind of performance.
But you're playing
even the goals, like the 3-0 is like,
listen, bro, the Burnley players had their fits laid out on the bed the night before, and the City players were still partying. Like, I agree with your statement that like they're treble winners, these guys just got promoted. But in the first game scenario, like sometimes that could be a leg up. Like the year we played Brentford, those guys were like bloodhounds ready to go out there, man, and prove a point. Like it's the biggest.
You guys never win the first game, so
hey, now we do.
I feel like we should go back to the Spurs part of that matchup.
I just don't like talking about those guys, bro. But they do look good. James Maddison does look like a revelation. And Son seems to have come back from retirement. And that Ange Postecoglou guy, he's likable, man. I don't know. Things are looking good for them.
All of their games, I feel like, are going to be like prime time
blockbusters.
Like shootouts. Like we're going to see like high scoring from both sides, and I think that's also going to be their detriment towards the end. Is that they play very expansive football and it's fun to watch, but they leave them very open at the back. And I felt that way in all of the games they played. Like I think they even conceded 2 to Burnley, right? Is that right?
Yeah. I think they have like 6 midfielders in their forward play. Like they run with 6. And I think there's 2 of it's like absurd.
I wish we had that, dude.
Yeah, but like I would through these guys, you see the downside of that, like I'm telling you right now, on September 24th, I got that date circled on my calendar. You put Martinelli against this Pedro Porro guy. Oh my God, we're about to eat. Like
we'll see, man. We'll see.
I'm tucking my napkin in. I'm getting my nice silverware out. We're gonna have a meal that day on the left side. Like Udogi,
I'm gonna be there no matter what.
No matter what. Oh, you're going, right? Yeah, you're going. We gotta get.
Oh shoot!
We gotta get some match day correspondence in that.
Oh, I got you.
We're gonna do like going into Aziz live at the game, and little transition. I just want to give some credit to some players that do look good. We mentioned Madison, Bissouma, finally looking like the
Yeah, looks
signing he
good.
was supposed to be. That Udogi
Good.
guy looks very good. Anyone else notable?
Sar, Matar Sar.
Oh yeah, Sar. Sar
He
Sar
looks
does
like
look
he's
good.
young and he looks very composed and
Mhm.
capable, is what I'd
And
say.
you know who still looks horrible? Richarlison. Horrible player. Horrible
Yeah, that
player. Like
dude. The funniest thing is seeing like the Fot Mob like all green and then he's like orange, like in any game
he
they play.
can't do
Did
anything,
he
bro.
start all 4 games?
He
Still?
started the first three, I believe. I don't think he started
Okay.
Yeah.
I
against
think
Brent.
he's gonna start getting benched from now on.
Yeah,
Oh, for
And he's
sure.
gonna start crying even more.
one Premier League goal since being signed for 60 million pounds. One. Can you
Yeah, we
imagine?
don't talk about that player enough.
And you know, this is what another point I wanted to mention. When clubs have these catastrophic failures and nobody seems to talk about them, that's when, in my mind, you're not a big club. Like Spurs signed a player for 60 million pounds. He scored one goal, and like he's like kind of a meme. We sign a player for 65 million pounds. He wins 3 out of 4 games and just like doesn't look that hot. It's like the end of the world. You know what I mean? Like there's levels to this game.
Nah, then that logic gives Man United no status because they sign big
Yeah.
players. Their players don't get
No,
talked
but
about.
Man United are constantly clowned. Like right now, there's too much to clown them about to where like
Yeah,
people are a
that's
little
true.
bored. You know what I mean? Like I don't know. Same thing happened with Chelsea finishing 12th. Not enough people made fun of that. I'm just saying. We finished 12th.
I
Okay,
agree.
If we
okay.
finished 12th, bro, oh my God. If
I
there was
think
a
we
double
have
digit finish,
I
you
think
did
we
it
have
twice.
different timelines in our social media because trust me, it was made very clear to me where we finished.
No, obviously, like you're gonna be hard on yourself, but I'm saying other people. Like,
No, I'm saying other people.
oh really? Oh, okay.
I would say. I mean, dude.
Maybe my timeline's off. I don't know. But okay, so we reviewed a good couple games. I want to pose the question now. Obviously, we did our predictions.
Mhm.
Was a little late uploading that for various reasons. I think the first international break is a good opportunity. I'm going to present you all with the opportunity to either hold or change your predictions. And I just want to remind you all what they are. So I'll go name by name, and then you tell me hold or change, and you have opportunity right there and then to change it. I'll start with myself. Okay.
Okay.
My top 6. I had Arsenal, City, United, Liverpool, Newcastle, Villa, Brighton, Spurs. I would like to switch. Okay. I'm going to swap. I'm going to swap 3 teams around. The 3 teams I'm switching around are going to be United, Villa, and Spurs. Okay. And I'll say my new ranking.
Not Brighton?
No. Brighton looked good, but these other teams look great too. So I don't think, like finishing in the top 8, anywhere in the top 8 is a bad thing this season, but I definitely want to give Spurs more credit, United less, Villa less. I'm going to keep Arsenal first. I'm keeping the belief. City second. I'm going to put Liverpool third. I'm going to put Spurs fourth. I'm going to put Newcastle fifth. I'm going to put Brighton sixth. I'm going to put United seventh. I'm going to put Villa eighth. Reactionary on United, I know, but I don't know. It's just what I'm feeling. Forrest, you're next. I'll read out your top 8, I mean.
Okay.
You had Arsenal first, City second, United third, Newcastle fourth, Spurs fifth, Chelsea sixth, Liverpool seventh, and Brighton eighth. Would you like to hold or would you like to change?
I'm gonna hold, bro.
Okay, fair enough.
It's controversial and it probably won't happen, but I don't know the mental like works I'd have to do to actually put an accurate one. I'm looking at mine right now. Yeah, it's bad, but who knows, man? Maybe I'll be right. So I'm gonna keep it as it is.
Fair enough. Fair enough. All right, Nibs, you had Arsenal first, City second, United third, Brighton fourth, Spurs fifth, Chelsea sixth, Liverpool seventh, and Villa eighth.
All right, I think I'm going to switch around. I'm gonna take down United up one spot, making them fourth,
Okay.
and I'll throw in Liverpool in that third spot.
And everyone else just
And-
moves down one.
And I'll actually keep Spurs in fifth. Chelsea would move down to seven, and Brighton will fill in first sixth, and Villa will stay at eight. Okay, so it's gonna be Arsenal, City, Liverpool,
Liverpool.
United, Spurs, Brighton, Chelsea, Villa.
Gotcha. Okay. And
Newcastle
Aziz,
not existent.
yeah,
No.
I mess with that.
fair enough. Aziz, you had City first, Arsenal second, United third, Newcastle fourth, Brighton fifth, Chelsea sixth, Liverpool seventh, and Spurs eighth. Would you like to hold or change?
He's a good one. He got a good one.
Oh,
Actually,
shoot, build up.
Spurs can be
You're gonna
higher.
change?
Oh, he's gonna change.
Yeah.
Oh
Change.
man.
I'm gonna
Yeah.
keep.
Come on.
I'm gonna keep first City, second Arsenal. I'm gonna change third.
Hell yeah. West Ham.
I'm gonna keep fourth as
Newcastle.
Newcastle. You
Sure.
gotta trust.
I'm trusting.
Right? I'm gonna put Brighton as third.
Mm.
Oh,
Yes.
nah,
This
dude.
is-
That's awful. I hate you.
This is
Yes.
a meeky top four. Yee.
Yeah. Liverpool as fifth.
Mm.
United as sixth.
Okay.
What the hell, man?
Okay.
And then
Chelsea.
Chelsea
Chelsea
Alligator.
first.
Spurs and Chelsea.
Oh, okay.
So you think this is like a false dawn for Spurs? You think they'll be
I
humbled?
mean, did I take them up like 1 point?
Yeah, you
Yeah,
did.
you did. Fair enough.
Okay. Yeah, good for them.
Yo, Brighton third is ridiculous, man.
Yeah,
I don't
Brighton
think it's
third.
that bad. I had Brighton fourth before, but I don't think it's that bad of a call, man. I
Brighton
think
Like,
third
if you
is-
think about it, like first and second are like way ahead of everyone else.
Look,
Mhm.
look. There's something to be said about just like vibe, aura, stature, and
Shut up, bro.
Brighton just don't got that yet, man. Like,
Oh wait, no, I agree with you. there.
yeah, like like you're new on the block. You know what I mean? Like, for you know the
Also, they
established,
got Europe.
and they're young. You know what I mean? Like for the established squad Arsenal were, that's 2 seasons ago when we were trying for top four. At the end of the day, what made us crumble was our lack of experience and our lack of stature, bro. Like we had kids playing. Brighton have kids playing. I don't think,
you got
But
no
Frank
other
Lampard
option,
did it.
man.
Frank
They got
Lampard
no-
did it.
dude. The lights will probably be a little too bright for them by the end of the season. But moving down to the bottom half, our relegation predictions. I'll go same order. I had in 18th West Ham, in 19th Sheffield, in 20th Luton. I will obviously change. I think West Ham will comfortably stay up this season. In their place, I want to put, let me see. Who do I want to put there?
Burnley?
Should be Everton or Burnley for sure.
Yeah, Everton look horrible. Burnley, I don't think will continue to be this bad. I think I'm gonna go Everton. Everton look bad, but they'll get points against us, I bet you, this upcoming weekend. So my new bottom three is Everton at 18th, Sheffield at 19th, and Luton at 20th. Forrest, your old bottom three were Wolves at 18th, Sheffield at 19th, and Luton at 20th. Would you like to hold or change?
No, I feel pretty good about that.
Fair enough.
I'll hold on that too.
Cool. Nibs, you had Everton at 18th, Sheffield at 19th, and Luton at 20th. Would you like to hold or change?
Good.
Okay, locked in. Aziz, you had Forest at 18th, Sheffield at 19th, and Luton at 20th. Would you like to hold or change?
Hold.
Oh man, really?
Yeah.
Forrest, that striker they have, man. He looks good.
Yeah, that's true.
He
Yeah.
looks real good.
I
But
mean,
hey,
I was always thinking like Wolves to be relegated, but they look good.
Hmm.
yeah, new manager bounced.
Dude, Forrest
Like
got Callum Hudson-Odoi. You know that, right? That's
Is
like
he getting paid
guaranteed
100K?
seventh or higher.
they also got Ilanga, right?
Yeah.
They
Anthony
got
They're
ballers, dude.
gathering up all these wasted talents, man. Like
They're building a super team, bro.
How about that guy? What's his name? Jay Links?
Jalen Hicks, where is he?
they're like the football version of could have been records. Like they got all the dudes that could have been. Like
Where's Jay Links at?
I don't know. I think Jay
Is he
Wings is
still without a team?
he's making
I think
TikToks.
he's at JD Sports, I think.
Yeah.
No, really.
He's at what's that place in Orlando? What's
Free
it?
kicks?
Free kick. He's at free
Yeah,
kick.
he's
Man, United fans are so desperate that they're hoping for him to come back for the winger situation.
dude, he do a shift for them, bro.
Dude.
He would
Yeah,
do
he
a proper
would.
shift.
Some
Oh,
guy tweeted you after like all this Jadon Sancho coming against
Yeah.
the coach and everything. You gotta applaud Maguire's professionalism.
That's very true. 0 tattoos, 0 cases,
That's funny.
Dude, I think that guy is cursed,
100%
man.
dedicated to United.
He is cursed.
Okay. So just to wrap up, you guys want to do some quick predictions for the next game week that we could review maybe?
Let's do it.
Just quick fire, no thoughts, okay?
Mhm.
The first fixture is Man United Brighton. I'm going for a Brighton win 2-1.
United
agree.
win 3-0.
Ooh.
Brighton win 3-0.
Aziz?
Brighton win 2-0.
Okay. Next fixture that looks very interesting is City versus West Ham, and this is at
Wow.
the London Stadium.
Whoa.
I'm going City win 1-0. Very late on.
I'm gonna go 2-2 draw.
Ooh.
West Ham 2-1.
Wow.
Oh,
Ambitious.
come on, you Irons!
Come on.
3-1 City.
This isn't
Okay.
even City's thing, bro.
No, I was going for yours. Did City have a thing? I don't think so.
I don't know, actually.
Next game, I'm doing this just for Aziz. Newcastle Brentford. What are we saying? I'm going Newcastle win 1-0.
Yeah, whatever, man. I'm not watching that, dude. Newcastle win 2-0.
Newcastle
2-0.
tie 1-1.
Ooh.
What do you say?
What'd you say,
Newcastle
Aziz?
tie. I said Newcastle win 2-0.
Okay. And then last two, just because it's relevant to us. Bournemouth Chelsea at Bournemouth.
You want me to start that one, dude?
I'm saying Chelsea lose 4-0.
All right, yeah. Chelsea win 7-0.
Chelsea win 1-0.
Aziz.
Chelsea win 2-1.
Okay. And then next we got Arsenal Everton at Selhurst Park. I'm going Everton 2-1.
I say
Arsenal
Everton
3-0.
Everton 5-0, goals scored by Kevin Morales, by Begovic,
Kevin Morales.
Lukaku,
And who's the other guy?
Seamus Coleman,
Coleman and
Rabona,
Baines, Leighton Baines.
Leighton Baines comes on, claps the stadium.
And Mikel Arteta.
Yeah,
Arteta.
Arteta takes off his suit. It's that Everton kid.
He starts coaching the other side.
Yeah. I've seen this movie before, man. It's just like there's too many factors there for us to lose. We're coming back off an international break. They haven't gotten a single point. I don't actually no, they haven't gotten a single win. It's at their place. It's not looking good. It's not looking good. But thank you for
It's gonna
tuning
be
in.
2-2.
Oh, 2-2?
Yeah,
Oh,
it's 2-2.
honestly, that's a better shout than what I said. But
2-2 is like it's like first 10 minutes, 2 goals
Yeah.
for Everton. And then Arsenal tries
Yeah.
Struggling.
for 80 minutes to come back. Yeah.
exactly. Early goal for sure.
I've seen this
That-
movie.
That sounds way too realistic right now. I'm kind of scared.
That's got flashbacks. But yeah, thank you for tuning in to another episode of our podcast. We hope you enjoyed it. Please leave instructive criticism or just hate on us in the comments, whatever you want to do.
Give me the hate.
Engagement is engagement. We're trying to get better. We will get better. That's a promise.
Bad publicity.
And
Yeah,
we
I'm
will
gonna
see
respond
you.
to every comment.
Yeah. Well, we'll put you in a group chat. Just break it down with you. But we will see you next time. Thank you and goodbye.
Goodbye.